Hey guys, Diesel PC Gaming here, back with another video. I wanted to do an update video on my new gaming computer build that I just finished. As you guys know, I was in the mix of building a new computer and we ran into a few bumps, so I kind of wanted to go over the PC and some of the speed bumps that I hit during building this PC. So here it is, guys. This plan originally started when I wanted to upgrade my GPU and my CPU. Was originally what I was just going to do. And of course it didn't work out that way, but I'm pleased with the finished product. So I went from i7 6700K to an i7 8700K. And I went from a GTX 1070 SC to a GTX 1080 Ti for the Win 3. I started this build with thinking that it was just going to be swapping out the parts. But it wasn't that simple. So the first problem I ran into was I wanted the vertical GPU mount. As you guys can see here, I have it. So I had the Corsair Crystal 570X case, and it was a pain trying to get the graphics card to vertically mount in that case. I cut up the case and had to modify it a little bit, and I still wasn't very pleased with it, but the main decider in me switching my case was with the 1080, it didn't fit in the case with the reservoir. It hit the reservoir. So I ran into a problem where I said I can either buy a new case or I can buy a new pump res. A new pump and a reservoir was like $200, so the case wasn't even that. I forget what I paid for the case, but I know it wasn't over $200. So I ended up getting a new case. So then I get the case, I get everything together, and I go to turn on the PC for the first time, which everyone knows, it never goes right the first time. Something always goes wrong. So I get it all together, I hit the power button, nothing happens. I spent a few days over checking what I did, seeing what was going on. Turns out, when I called the motherboard company, they said that the i7 8700K is not compatible with the motherboard that I was using. So at that point, I was already pissed off because I had to buy a new case. I spent the money on the CPU, the GPU, the RAM, power supply, and I was like, now I have to buy another motherboard. So anyways, I ended up buying another motherboard, and then that all ended up working out. So that was one of the main problems that I had. It was a big one to overcome. The other problem that I ran into was my tubing. I'm using the XSPC tubing here. I've worked with it before, and it was a little difficult to work with getting the silicone insert out after bending the pipe. I've searched around and heard that it's not really supposed to be that difficult. I do it with I followed everyone's directions, soap and hot water, make sure that it's all, even like pre-soaking the pipe and then, soaking the pipe in water after trying to get the insert out. It just was fighting me the whole way. And this time it was just being extremely difficult. I went through 5 sticks of pipe, and as you guys can see, the pipe didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it. You can definitely see that this is not straight, and this is not straight, and there's a kink in here. So, long story short, I was running into more of, I'm not going to have enough pipe to fix this, and I didn't want to buy any more pipe. I knew if I had to buy more pipe that I was going to end up swapping everything and going with different fittings, because these fittings, they have a triple seal on them, so it's 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside. And it's really difficult to get the pipe in. I ended up filing down all the ends of the pipes, basically, so that the depth of the pipe, the width of the inside of the pipe was smaller. Fought me the whole entire time. So I got down to the nitty-gritty of running out of pipe, and a couple of these bends, they came out, semi-decent, they were usable, and that's why a couple of them are like that. I can't really notice them from where I sit at my computer. Obviously you can see I'm looking dead on right now, but not a huge problem for me right now. Eventually I will swap out the view fluid. I don't know exactly if they projected a timeline of how long this stuff is good for. I see a lot of warnings about this will decrease the life of this, and all the warnings they put out. So I'm assuming it's not a very long longevity fluid. So we'll see. But once I end up swapping out the fluid, I will get some different pipe and some different connectors and definitely fix all these bends. The other thing too is Jay's 2 cents recommended putting some divots in the pipe, heating it up really fast and basically bending it to give it these veins, so that way when the view fluid goes through the pipes, it kind of kicks all that stuff around, so you see it a lot more inside of the pipes. Obviously you can see it really great inside the reservoir in the GPU. So that's what he said. I did try it. Like I said, I had a lot of problems with this tubing, and I don't know if it was the tubing or the insert. I tried a couple of different inserts that I had, and everyone really failed miserably. So I would say stay away from this pipe if you're a beginner, because it was basically anything that had a 90 degree, and if I had to put another bend in it after, it was, I had to step on the pipe on the floor and then basically pull with all my might to get that silicone insert out. It was a real pain, that's for sure. So the build is it's a Z370 Gaming 7 motherboard with a i7 8700K, obviously. I went with Trident Z RGB RAM with I bumped it up from 32 megahertz to 3600 megahertz, 3200 megahertz. Obviously the 1080 Ti for the win. Graphics card, I did move the Samsung M.2 memory to this motherboard. Like I said, the vertical mount with the Thermaltake GPU ribbon cable, and then the EVGA 1000 watt power supply. This thing is a beast. I'm very happy with it. It runs phenomenal. I have the side panel off because I'm still trying to get the rest of the air. There was a little bit of air in the top of the tank that I'm still trying to get out. So that's why the side glass panel isn't on right now. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this build. Look forward to more videos coming on this thing. It came out awesome. I just threw the LEDs on there. Kind of look like a Joker theme. So that's why it's green and purple. But I'm going to mess around with the colors and see what I like. The other thing too is this is a UV fluid, so I might be looking into getting some UV RGB LED strips that I saw too. They have those now, so I'd love to see what this fluid looks like in UV also. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to give you guys a little update on this thing, and I'm hoping to put out a lot more content and be a better YouTuber, that's for sure, because I make videos for a month and then I disappear for 6, so terribly sorry about that, but thanks for watching.